So hello and welcome back to another video. Now today I've come out to do a little bit more squid fishing. This is my second session of the season. I was out last week, it's roughly a week ago, could be a little bit longer. Managed to have a couple of small ones, and in fact I did actually come out during the week as well, and there was a couple other guys down here. I didn't catch a single thing, and between three of us within about 4 hours I think we had 2 or 3 squid, but I didn't catch anything. So this is my, well, technically third session, but second proper session on the squid. I've just come down for a few hours, it's nice and quiet. Got a pretty strong westerly wind today, but that should be behind me. I'm going to be using the normal lures I use. I'll show you the lures and the rig and everything like that. Very simple techniques, just literally dropping it down off the side of the pier or the harbour here. And yeah, straight into deep water. Twitching the lures about, slow retrieving them, and hopefully we can entice a few squid. Now if I do manage to get any, I'll probably keep some as bait if they're really small, and I'll probably also keep some to eat maybe, so I might do a cook up. We'll just see how it goes, and yeah, hopefully it's a bit of fun. Like I said, it's a fairly nice evening, apart from that wind it's not that cold, so yeah, hopefully it's a few hours of bit of fun fishing, and we'll just see how it goes. So lures to start tonight, probably going to go with pink on the bottom, we'll go for a smaller orange on the top. As you can probably hear, there's quite a bit of noise in the background. Got the Commodore clipper unloading whatever it's brought in, just over on that far side there. So bottom lure attached to that lure clip at the bottom. And with the top one, just got a dropper loop here. Pop that through the top of the lure, pull the lure through, pull tight, and there we go. We've got one lure at the top and one at the bottom. So you'll probably be able to tell that tide is super low at the moment. We've still got an hour till low water, but I've only come here just for a bit of fun tonight. Beats sitting at home, so hopefully we can find 1 or 2 squid. Literally just had one drop, and I'm pretty sure I just saw a small squid swimming very close to the surface. Yep, there we go. Ah, yep, I'm on. Or am I? Pretty sure I'm on. I took it on the drop. Oh, is it going to stay on there? Come on. It's got so far to go up. There we go. First squid of the evening. I just said I saw one swimming on the surface. That could have well been it. But that's a good start, that, taking on the top lure. Happy days. So as I was just saying, I did see a squid swimming very close to the surface, and that could very well be that same squid. That's a good start, that. So that one actually took it on the drop. Pretty sure the lure was getting very, very close to the bottom. Had a jolt on the rod. So let's drop it down there again, see if we can find any of his friends. Now if I were to hook a big one tonight, getting it up that far and over the railing is definitely going to prove difficult. I'm willing to give it a go, but whether I'd actually get it onto land is another thing. I've just lost one on the surface. I've put the other camera on. That one took it literally as the lures were just coming up to the surface. I can see all the ink down there. Had a couple of pulls, but wasn't connected properly. Hopefully this will turn out to be a good session. I could do with a few more squid for my freezer. I definitely wouldn't pass up on a few to eat as well. first cast in that other area, that squid is about 6 to 7 inches long. Behind it, I'm not kidding you, was one 2 feet long. That was insane. I don't know if I had this camera on. I didn't. That's crazy. There's bigger squid down there for sure. Let's get this one off the hook and get straight back in there. Here we are, it's squid number 2. Now, like I said, there's a much bigger one down there. A much bigger one. So let's get these lures back in the water and see if we can get it. Now, that one that followed this little one up, that was a proper squid. They're the ones you're coming out for. I mean, that water's a long way down, and it looked big from up here, so that was definitely a decent size. Now, this is what I mean when the tide's this low and you're this high up. I don't have a drop net with me. I can never be bothered to bring one and keep it in my car, but ideally you should have one. If you're fishing below water like this, it's going to make your life a lot easier. But yeah, that thing is definitely a beast. Oh, I thought that was another squid then. I think that's a mullet. I was going to say, that thing looked big. That's a mullet though. God, I'm getting excited. Crazy when you're fishing the harbours like this, just the things you can see just by standing, you know, having that height above the water, and obviously a little light as well, especially when the tide's this low. You know, this is still pretty deep water anyway, and it's low water, so you can imagine at high tide you can't see much in it unless you see all the bait fish or garfish come to the surface. I'm into another one. This one feels a little better. Feels like a bit more weight on this. Oh, it's a cuttlefish, that's right. I doubt I'm gonna get this up. Ah, he's coming off. Oh my god, I've got him out of the water. Come on. Oh my god. Well, I don't believe I just managed to do that. There we go. Sort my light out properly, but there we are. That's my first cuttlefish of the season as well. Happy days. So great start so far. First cuttlefish of the season. 2 little squid. Now, I did think that felt a little different. It was just like weight. You don't really get the pull downs. But I'll just put that light down a second. Put my head torch on. Yeah, I'm really shocked I actually managed to get that up and out. I'll give you a quick show on this camera to see if you can see properly, but that's the sort of height I'm looking at. You can probably see over there, the pier over there. You can see the distance from there to the water, so it's the exact same over here. You know, you're talking a good, I'd say 25 to 30 foot, so getting that thing up and out of the water, it's no easy feat, but that's quality that. I'll be keeping that for bait. Well, so far there seems to be quite a bit of life in the water. Now, I've seen shoals and mullet, sort of 8 to 10 mullets swimming around together. There's some very, very small ones as well, which I think are mullet. They could also be roselie, possibly, or any type of bait fish like that. But it's a good sign, because if there's little fish like that in the water, then it means there's going to be squid in there. Now, this time of year anyway, you're more than likely to get squid about in the harbours anyway. Even on the quiet nights, you can still manage to pick up sort of 1 or 2. However, we've had a fair bit of action already. I've maybe had about 10 or 15 drops. Pretty happy to get that cuttlefish, and really fortunate to actually get it up and over the railing. So I'm going to stick with these 2 lures for now. If the colours are working, I'm not going to bother changing them. Have a few more drops. The tide's still going down. I think we've still got 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that, till low water. So I'm in no rush tonight. I'm just going to stay until it dies off. But hopefully it keeps on fishing over low, and we might even stay for a little bit of the flood. Well, I just dropped back down and I was straight into something else, but it's come off. So I'm going to drop it back down to the bottom again. Well, this could turn out to be a pretty good session. 2 worlds apart from the last week when I was up here. Now when I'm letting the lures sink, all I do is let the line go through my fingers and then I stop it, and you feel the rod tip just bounce down, so that's the weight of the lures. I let a bit more line out, stop it again, feel the rod tip bounce, and I just keep doing that until obviously when you stop it the line goes slack, just like that, and you know you're on the bottom. I give it one lift and then just slowly start retrieving it. Sometimes I'll just let it dangle there like that for a second, give it a few sort of twitches, but there's really not a lot to it whatsoever. Now there's some small squid down there which are about that big, 3-4 inches long. I just had about 6 or 8 of them come to the surface there. And I dropped the lures back down and you can feel them tapping at it, and one of them was on very briefly, but yeah, that's come off. I mean, they'd be absolutely ideal bait size. So that's the Commodore clipper on its way out. It's just been loading up everything it's taken. That's going to be a bumpy journey to the UK, I think. It's pretty windy out there. Now it's gone a little quiet here in the last 15 minutes, but I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to pick up a few more. Just had a little breather. I'm going back in with the lures now. Just going to let them float down there a little bit and give them the odd twitch. Now the bottom lure I'm using has actually got a rattle in it, so when it's in the water and it's sort of moving about in the current, if you're giving it a few twitches as well, it's just going to send off that sound and that vibration, hopefully entice something to hit it. But just like that, there we go. I reckon this could, oh no, that's a squid. Yeah, this is a better one as well. Ah, it's come off. No, that was a better one for sure. I'm going to drop it back down. That was definitely a better squid. You can tell by the pulls. I don't know if you can see the rod tip, because sometimes you can't see it in the light, but that one was really giving a few good hits. This is what I said earlier, there's definitely some bigger squid down there. It's just having the patience and keep on fishing, trying to get them. That's a real shame, that, because that felt like a decent size compared to everything I've been catching so far. Bugger. Now what happens is they start pulling down, and obviously when they're doing that, they're gripped onto the lure by their tentacles, and it just rips it out, it pulls it out. So that's why whenever you hook one, you just got to take it really slowly, because if you wind too fast, you're just going to rip the lure out of it. It's not like when you're catching a fish and you've got a barbed hook or anything like that. I mean, even then you don't crank it when you're reeling it in, but you know that once it's on, 9 times out of 10 it's going to stay on. Squid, you're never quite sure. And like this as well, you can get them to the surface, and as soon as you lift them out of the water and you're holding the whole weight of the squid or the cuttlefish on the rod and line, that's when it can slip off. I've just lost another one. No. So I literally just changed back to the rattling lure, and the first drop with that hooked up, but it come off again. Same thing happened. It gives that big pull down. Now they're really few and far between, the hits. I'm not catching consistently. When I first got here, I had the 2 small ones and the cuttlefish, and lost another on the surface, all within about 6 or 7 casts. Since then it's been a different story. It's a lot slower, but they do feel like bigger squid that are hitting the lures. Now I just got to try and make sure they stay on there.
which is difficult because you get that initial hit and then I just start slowly winding up like that, and when they pull down I lower the rod down so they can take a bit of, you know, not take liners and peel it off your reel, but it just takes that tension off so they're not really ripping through the lure. But even that is not working. They're giving such hard pulls that they're just coming off.
I'm in again. It's pulling, it's pulling. Oh my god. Come on. Whoa. I don't know if you can see this, but that is trying to go some. That's a really nice squid, that. That's a really nice squid. Come on. Right, I need to tighten my drag to get it up here. I'm gonna go for it. This is a decent squid.
Please stay on. Oh my god. Oh yes, it's a beast. It's a beast. Now check that out. That's what we came for. That's amazing. That right there is definitely the biggest of the season. Quality. That's a beauty, that. I'll get the other camera on.
So I've been here for quite a while now. As you would have seen in the video, I've lost a fairly decent one on the surface. I lost a really good one, which felt like a big squid as it was pulling down. Just got hit again, loosened my drag a little bit, had it on the surface, it was pulling and pulling and pulling. Tighten the drag up, get it up, and we got it here. I'll give you a show. Check this beast out. That's a fine squid, that. Best of the season for sure. But you can kind of see the size comparison there. Put the rod next to it, because otherwise you can't really tell. This is the bigger lure here, and you can tell I was lucky there. He's just got it. I'm just holding the light here to get a better view, but he's just got it in the top of the head there. I'm absolutely chirping about that. But what a cracking squid that is. That's a beauty, that. Finally got a decent one. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Well, I must say, I'm happy about that one. Good to get a nicer squid. Now, I'm guessing it's, I don't know, maybe roughly £2, go pushing £2. But it's definitely by far the biggest I've had so far this year. Like I said, there's only been small ones that I've seen caught recently. It's only small ones I've had as well. So yeah, nice to get a bigger one like that. Now those ones are still good for eating. Obviously you can use them as bait as well. Strips of squid for bream and stuff like that. Mackerel fishing, anything will eat squid. So you get a fair few sessions worth out of that if you cut them up into little strips. But also good for eating because you can just tenderize them with a hammer and yeah, shallow fry them, pan fry them, deep fry them, and they'll be super tender. So it paid to switch back to that lure. I'm pretty sure this is a Berkeley, but this is my favorite squid jig. This is the jig that I've had the most success on over the last couple of years. I really like these ones. They're about £5 or £6, but yeah, these are definitely my favorite squid jigs. Now, I was actually chatting to Sam Daniels, who's Beneath the Waves Fishing in Jersey. He's been going out squidding lately, so go check his videos out. He's been catching quite a few squid over in Jersey, and yeah, I think he also agreed that these lures are definitely the best on their day. As I say, they've got that rattle in there. They give off a nice little glow when you get them under the head torch, and they really do produce yeah, good numbers of squid. So I'm going to get it back in the water and let's see if we can maybe find another bigger one.
So as I said, they've been few and far between, but it's paid off just to stick around. And like I was saying before, it's not as if I've not been seeing any action or having any action. Obviously had quite a fair few hits. I've had a few hits which I haven't managed to get the camera on in time for as well. So I know they're there. And it's nice to see some better sized ones coming in here now as well. There is also down there, because they keep following my lure up and I can see them under the head torch. squid that are sort of that size, you can feel them tapping at the lure, but even that top lure, the small one, is just slightly too big for them. I'm into a small one here. Is this going to stay on? You want to see the size difference in this one. See, this is what I'm talking about. The little baby squid here. If I can pick him up. Tiny, tiny little thing, that. Really small. That's the difference between them. Now there's smaller ones than this even. So I'm surprised that one actually hooked itself up. That's just about big enough to take that top lure there. But great to see anyway. That one will be going on whole and being chucked out for a bass at some point, I think. So I've just dropped back down again. I lost a little one on the surface. Dropped the lures back down, had another hookup, and these are the very small ones again. They're staying on for a couple of seconds. There we go, there's another one. It's off. They're really, really small. I just keep dropping it back down. You won't be able to see on the camera, but when I shine my head torch down there, I can see them following it up. There's quite a few of them. Oh, I'm on again. Feels like a okay size. That was on the drop, that. Just letting the line go through my fingers, and then all of a sudden, wham. So I wasn't even retrieving for that one. Oh, it's two, I think. Yeah, it's two. No way. Double hookup. Right, will they both stay on there? Come on. Oh, that bottom one's coming off. There we go. Double hookup. So how about that? That was on the drop then. We got here, double hookup a squid. Well, just as I put the other camera on, it's decided to die. As you can see, I got my big light in the background here, but there we go, double hookup there. One on the top lure, the smaller lure, and one on the bottom. And that was on the drop, that, so I didn't even have to retrieve. So two nice sized squid there, perfect eating size, perfect bait size. I'm gonna get those in the bag with the rest of them, and we'll get the lures back in the water. Now obviously, because I've got this big light here, what I can do is just put the lures in front of it. I'm just giving them sort of 20-30 seconds. Because that light's a lot more powerful than my head torch, makes the lures glow up nicely. So that's going to do it for me for tonight. Now we're coming up to 1 AM in the morning. I really can't believe how quickly that time's gone. But it's been a thoroughly enjoyable session. I think we had half a dozen squid in the end. One very nice one nice size one, and the rest all small. Had that one cuttlefish. Now I've ended up losing a couple of squid on the surface. I've had plenty of hookups and they've just come off. I've seen a lot of squid on the surface of the water as well, just swimming up to the lures or swimming near the lures as well. So yeah, there seems to be quite a few around now. Now that's a really good sign. I'll probably be out later on in the month and doing some more squid fishing. I might even try off the breakwater one night. That's going to be all for this video. If I do a cook up, I'll probably end up doing a separate video and just keep this one as the fishing. For anyone new out there who's
into squid fishing or wants to get into it, then I hope it provides a little bit of information and just some simple tips. It's really is an easy thing to do. It really is. Anybody can do it. I have had a few people message me already asking certain questions. You know, they see the videos and they think, oh, I want to go give that a try. Like, go give it a go. It really is easy. You just need a spinning rod, something which has just got a bit of backbone. Don't use an LRF rod. Use a sort of a medium to heavy lure rod, just so that's purely for lifting squid or cuttlefish out the water. If you're fishing near the surface, it's not so bad, but you just want a rod with a bit of backbone. Standard spinning reel. You can use braid or mono. Like I said, lures are cheap. Some of the squid lures go up to sort of £20. I never buy lures like that for squid fishing. £5–6 the most I'll spend on a squid jig. But yeah, there's also a video on my channel of a very simple but effective rig to use as well, where you can fish 2 lures at once. So check that out if you want any more info. But like I said, it's been a thoroughly enjoyable evening. Nice to get out tonight. It's been nice and peaceful here, and yeah, the time's absolutely flown by. So that's it for this one. Stay tuned and I'll see you on the next one.